Welcome to RPV City Talk. I'm Liz Brown Swanson with the great mayor of Rancho, Palos, Verdes, Mayor Dave Bradley. You are great, Mayor Bradley. We have a gorgeous RPV day, and we are bringing you the show from our city's historic Hatano Farm, which we're going to talk about this farm in a few minutes. But I just want to start off with you, Mr. Mayor. How are you doing?
Great. You know, as you said earlier before we started filming, another Chamber of Commerce day here in Rancho, Palos Verdes. We are getting almost to November. Once again, it's 72 degrees, almost not a cloud in the sky, still a little bit of ground fog, but this is why we live here. You just gotta love this, and this is why we don't show these views of our city to the folks on the East Coast during the winter, because then they all want to come.
Well, it's great to be with you, Mayor Bradley, and to be sitting here at our city's historic Hatano Farm. Has a long history with Japanese-American farming in our community. Of course, the city, because of deed restrictions, stopped leasing this land a few years ago. It has historic status. So let's just talk about a little bit of the history of Hatano Farm and what the city's doing to preserve the legacy here.
Well, Hatano Farm was unfortunately the last of the heritage Japanese-American farms that was operating here in the South Bay. At one point throughout the peninsula as well as Torrance, we had numerous Japanese-American families doing farming. Torrance Airport had large cornfields back in the day. Hatano Farm, Ishibashi Farm, Annie Stan, all of that was part of the infrastructure, and our neighbors that came back after World War II, after the internment of the Japanese Americans during World War II, came back and came to farming here on the peninsula. So at one point we saw cattle raising, we had flowers, vegetables, as well as a cactus farm. Here at Hatano, it started out as about a 5.5 acre cactus farm that then evolved into a flower farm. Mm-hmm. The Hatano family, the patriarch, passed on. His foreman then operated the farm for several years. At that point, we were looking at the land lease on it, and because of the deed restrictions for Hatano Farm, we had to cease the commercial farming opportunities.
And those were federal deed restrictions.
Federal deed restrictions, correct. So we are trying to figure out, the city is, on how to honor the historic nature of the Japanese Americans farmers, how to honor this property as the last active Japanese American farm in Rancho Palos Verdes and in the South Bay, and that legacy of our farmers that came back after World War II.
Right. In 2023, after the city stopped leasing the farm site, it received state historic status. And so that's incredible. And I know you were saying about looking forward, the city possibly could be an educational center here, at least, just to continue, like you're saying, to remind our community of the importance of that, of what happened with the Japanese American farming here.
The unfortunate part is the way the Hatano Farm is located and the access and the amount of parking that we have here. It's very difficult to create a experiential learning center for our youth for Hatano Farm because there's really no parking here. It's a very difficult place to get in and out of. So we're trying to figure out what's the best way to honor our historic Japanese American farmers. That would be the Hatanos, the Isubashis, and the rest of the families that came here and really help make the peninsula what the peninsula is today.
And when you do a scene setter, we're sitting here, which is considered Prickly Pear Road. People do hike through here, so there's access still. We're looking across at our incredible Terranea Resort with a view of the ocean. We're looking at the Links Golf Course, which you said you're going to get out there and do some golfing soon.
Absolutely.
But what a location, and just, so grateful that we have this open space as well in perpetuity, and the city is taking great care of it. So stay tuned for what the future holds for this historic site.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to travel just down the road here on PV Drive South and hit up the landslide area, which, of course, every mayor's program, we update our community. It's been 2 years, we're in October, since the city had to declare a state of emergency in the landslide complex because of the unprecedented movement. So with that, just bring us up to speed on the latest, what's going on with the land movement, all the city's doing to mitigate this situation, including there's new building restrictions in the complex, all those kinds of things. Let us know.
Okay,
All right.
so the landslide. We are still actively trying to preserve Palos Verdes Drive South. We have done an amazing job on retarding the movement in the Seaview and the Beach Club neighborhoods. That is now down to almost imperceptible movement, which does give us a lot of hope that the things that we've done with the deep dewatering wells, some of the emergency winterization we did a year ago, all has really paid dividends. Unfortunately, on the western side, by the Abalone Cove, the ski jump, the S-curve, things have not stopped moving. Now they have slowed down dramatically. So where things were moving about 13 inches a week 2 years ago, they're moving about 10 inches a month now. Historically, it was about 10 inches a year. So we're still about an order of magnitude more movement that we saw in the past. But what we've got, the accomplishments we've made on the eastern side really gives us hope for the western side. So we are continuing to try to find funds from our federal, state, and county partners to really go after and put in a holistic infrastructure plan of deep dewatering wells, hydro-augers, and lining the canyons and then lining the low-lying swales to prevent the water from percolating into the water table and then to remove the water that's already there. So that's all continuing to go forward. We're hopeful we will continue to get help. In fact, at the last council meeting, I was able to announce that the LA County Sanitation Board, which I'm actually a member of, was able to contribute $4 million to the stabilization of Palos Verdes Drive South, trying to preserve their infrastructure of those 4 sewer mains that run along PV Drive South that have recently been changed out from a metallic pipes that were prone to breaking to a more flexible polymer membrane that's been put in. So that has been another piece of infrastructure that has been put in the last 6 months.
This council, the staff, is so proactive in trying to come up with resources and funding because of the expense of the landslide, the impact it's having on our city's coffers. You mentioned getting that money, $4 million. Congratulations on pursuing that. We know County Supervisor Janice Hahn has given money, but we're still waiting for money from the federal government, and it's not coming this way. And people are out there, our residents, saying, how are we paying for this?
Well, over the last 2 years, we've spent over $50 million on all things Palos Verdes Drive South stabilization and landslide related. Fortunately, the folks that were on council before we've had a very good fiscal policy. We've had a great reserve, which allowed us to have that backstop to be able to do those things. That only is going to last so long. We have an annual budget of about $40 million. And the idea that we have spent over $50 million worth of reserves just gives you an idea that it is unsustainable. So we do need those partners from federal, state, and county. I've got to remind our watchers that, once again, the city of Rancho Palos Verdes retains roughly 6 cents of every dollar of property tax. Most people think that it's a coastal city, affluent.
Right.
We should have tons of property tax dollars. That is not true. The way it gets carved up, we only retain about 6 cents per dollar. So we're really looking for our state and county partners to help us help ourselves with our own money.
Right. And of course, as we're sitting here right across from Terranea, often thought of as a cash cow with all the transient occupancy tax that comes into our city, we have to remind our viewers, especially now as we're getting in the holidays, shop local, spend your money in our community because we need every penny we can get.
Terranea, a wonderful place for a weekend getaway. They're going to have some great holiday parties coming up here. They do have the Links Golf Course. But yes, Terranea has been a huge partner and help for us in the community, as well as the Trump National Golf Course as well. Both of them have really helped us maintain our budget. So continue to shop locally and
on Western Avenue too, for that matter.
Absolutely.
That's
Western Avenue, as you bring it up, we've had several grand openings along Western Avenue. The Western Avenue Beautification Project has really started to bear fruit.
So we got to support our local businesses and support our community. As we continue to talk about the landslide, landslide and all the city's doing, of course, we always talk about the bumpy road, PV Drive South, where the ski jump is, the millions of dollars spent to maintain that road so we can all drive it daily. There was, at the October 21st City Council meeting, the City Council did consider conducting a feasibility study looking into a potential toll road. I know residents in the past have thought about this, asked the council to look into it. Talk about just the concept and what the council decided on that issue for now.
So we asked the staff to go back and look at it a little bit harder. We don't want to spend $25,000 to $50,000 doing a full feasibility study for the toll road. I have my doubts on the long-term fiscal viability of a toll road and the unintended consequences. I'm always concerned if you push on a balloon in one place, it pops out somewhere else. If we put in a toll road along Palos Verdes Drive South, I think the unintended consequence would be we would push a dramatic amount of that traffic to PV Drive North and to PCH. Both of those in the morning and in the afternoons are almost gridlock as it is. This would further exacerbate that. Also, toll roads, we are not in a position to administer it ourselves, so we would have to hire a contractor to come in and administer it. That takes a large percentage of any type of revenue stream that we would have. So I really believe that even though it's a great idea, and I love all the ideas on how to stabilize our finances, I don't think that's one's going to really play out, but we're going to see a little bit more if we can come up with a way that's going to help.
We're going to move on to other issues that came up at your city council meetings in the past month. That's what we do here on City Talk. We talk about all the latest issues. The 2025 California Building Standards Code, it's a procedural matter. Every 3 years, the council goes in and readopts the state standards for construction, including adding local amendments. So what does that mean for our residents?
So some of the lessons learned that came out of the Pacific Palisades and the Altadena fire tragedies are being rolled into our current building codes. And this will help our residents when they remodel or a new construction, those houses to become more resilient to possible fire. It is one of those silver linings from a really dark storm is that those fires both really highlighted to folks the danger of wildfires, and that even a urban community could be affected by it. So it will make all of our residents more resilient, and in the event of a brush fire here on the peninsula.
All right. All right. Anything else you want the residents to know about that? Just go on the city website, right? RPVtv.gov.
It's evolving. We're in compliance with California standards, and we're trying to make sure that it helps our residents be as resilient as possible in the event of a future emergency.
So, Mayor Bradley, you manage the landslide, you manage city finances. The council also has a coyote management plan. So
we do manage our
the
coyotes.
Wildlife around our community as we sit here in the wild.
Yes.
So you had a presentation by staff, just an updated report on sightings that's happening, and this management plan, by the way, I guess went into place in 2013. So just bring us up to give us an update on this plan and what the council was considering.
So we're continuing to work on how to manage the coyote population within the city and on the peninsula in general. It is almost impossible to completely eliminate coyotes in a semi-urban environment like we live on the peninsula, but we can manage them. So the coyote management plan has a bunch of different factors to it. One of them is we have a hotline and a website that you can go to say that you have a coyote in your neighborhood or a coyote that is getting aggressive, and we will bring our trapper out to try to take care of that. But also has provisions of recommending don't keep pet food out because that brings the coyotes in. That desensitizes them to humans. So that is one of those things that we try to encourage our residents to be mindful of, that to haze the coyotes, make loud noises, make them uncomfortable coming into the community and coming into people's yards. All of that together, I think we can manage our coyotes and continue to keep them at bay and protect all of our residents.
I was reading by staff and some of the notes here that just in the past year, our city has gone out and done over a dozen audits of people's yards, again, to help them make sure their yard would deter coyotes, there's not food out and things like that. And that website, on our city website, rpvca.gov/report coyotes is how you can do that. I'm curious,
There's
When's the
also
last time you've
on
seen
the
one?
city app, there is a link to be able to report a coyote, aggressive coyote or coyote sighting on the city app.
Thank you for that update. We're going to move on to what else the City Council has been talking about. Speaking of talking, wireless telecommunications facilities in our city. Of course, we all complain about our cell phone coverage.
Yes.
You're working on this, trying to improve coverage and the number of facilities here so that we can improve our coverage. So talk about that.
So we're working with all of the carriers right now, that be AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and Sprint, to try to figure out the right mix of infrastructure. One of the things that we are challenged with in Rancho Palos Verdes is our disdain for vertical infrastructure.
Right.
So the last thing we want is 4 different cell towers every block to be able to provide 5G coverage. So we're pushing on the carriers to come up with an integrated plan on how the RF energy would disperse over the city, to come up with where we can have good cell phone coverage with the minimum amount of vertical infrastructure. It's a give and take. It's not easy. RF energy has a strange propagation path, certainly in an area like Rancho Palos Verdes with a lot of hills and valleys. The higher in frequency the RF energy is, the less it wants to conform to those hills and valleys, and the more you have to have straight line of sight. But we are working with the carriers. In fact, I met with the representative from AT&T last night at the South Bay COG meeting, talking about how we can get the best bang for the buck. Now, their upside is what is coming down the road is direct satellite to cell coverage. You see things like Kuiper and Starlink and some of these other networks being developed. So in the not too distant future, a couple years from now, we'll start seeing a alternative to terrestrial cell towers being able to go direct to space. So that's encouraging that there could be some additional competition there and help us with that deployment and the coverage.
And when it comes to our community's needs, like better cell phone coverage, the council's also approved moving forward with a community needs survey. So what is the goal of that? At the October 7th council meeting, you decided to go forward. What's the purpose of this, and what's going to be happening there?
So we're looking to go out to the community to find out where people want to see the city go, look at various potential ways of increasing revenue for the city, which could be an increase in fees, it could be increasing of taxes, but it is basically to put the city on a go-forward fiscal sustainable path with the idea that the landslide mitigation is going to be here to stay. We need to figure out how to balance our budget. We need to figure out what's important to the community so we can provide resources to go after what's important to our citizens.
When will residents see that coming their way? It's going to be.
It will be out probably late this year. We're working with our vendor to figure out what the questions are, how to go about it. The subcommittee on that will be meeting over the next couple of weeks. So I hope that survey and that interaction will start by the end of the year. If not by the end of this year, certainly by the beginning of 2026, our residents will start being able to.
And as the information comes in, our city's Financial Sustainability Committee will start to review all that, then
absolutely
bring findings to you at the council. So that's really exciting. All right, staying in tune with what our community needs. One thing we always work with our residents on is preparedness. In October, we had everybody participated in the community and in our city staff did in the Great Shakeout Drill.
Yep.
And I know that was successful. And then also, by the time this is running, we'll have already been there, but our annual Prepared Peninsula Expo is happening on October 26th, Sunday. So RPVtv will be there. So watch the channel for all you can learn about when it comes to preparedness. We go to every booth that's at the expo from our city's our city's booths, etc. So talk about just how you feel our city is really stepping up in this area to help us all become more ready.
Well, the expo coming up this Sunday is going to be foundational. We have it every year, and it really helps highlight to our residents the resources that are out there, how to prepare for an earthquake, a wildfire, or another major disaster. It really helps. Preparedness is 90% of the game. bad things will happen, and to be as prepared as you can to go into them, whether that be having an AM radio with batteries where you can get emergency alerts, having a emergency food supply in case food distribution is impacted for a short time. All of those things, having water supply, all of that goes to helping you become personally more resilient, being able to turn off the gas to your home, all of those things. And that's what the expo really focuses on. Our emergency preparedness subcommittee does a great job getting out there and working with the city and our residents on how to prepare.
And download Alert South Bay on your phone, things
Absolutely.
like that, to stay informed and in tune. Now we're going to get informed on all the mayor's activities. This is the fun part of the show.
It is. So a lot of things have happened and a lot of things are about to happen. So we had the Trunk or Treat event on October 11th, where we had about 2,500 folks attend to come and do trick or treat or trunk or treat out of the back of cars. There are many neighborhoods within Rancho Palos Verdes that are just not conducive to trick or treating. And to see those kids in their costumes, it is just, it gives you hope for the future.
It's one of my favorite events in the city, and unfortunately, I missed it this year. Last year, my son Alex and I, we had one of the trunks. We did Toy Story. And just like you just, the amount, it was like hundreds of kids. They are so enthusiastic and they're adorable. Do you have a costume this year, by the way, for Halloween?
I do have a costume.
Who are you going to be?
It is a secret.
Dressed up as the mayor.
It is a secret.
All right.
It may come out of the closet soon.
We'll get a photo of the mayor for the next show.
Yes.
That'll be good. And so in terms of other activities, I know you had
So we had a birthday party. Former mayor, councilman, city founder Ken Dida turned 94. Several of us met at his house and had a surprise birthday celebration for Ken. He was completely shocked, had no idea that it was coming. We had a huge bouquet of balloons. In fact, city manager Ara Moranian almost couldn't get through the front door with all those balloons. I thought actually Ara was going to lift off. He was going to look like what was that movie where...
Oh, I know, Up.
Up.
No,
yeah, he almost looked like Up, where he was going to fly away because he had so many balloons. Former Mayor Dida has had some, is 94, couple health issues, but man, his face just absolutely lit up. The fact that we have a resource like Ken Dida still in the city, who was instrumental in helping establish the city that back in 1973, was on our first city council, has been elected to city council numerous times, mayor numerous times, and has always been an ardent supporter of Rancho Palos Verdes.
He is a legend. In fact, having the Ken Dida Civic Community Center named after him as well in his lifetime, such an important tribute to him, because he has been tireless, for all those years. And as we observe all this open space, that whole vision of the Ken Didas and all the council to preserve open space, we can thank him. And happy birthday again, Mayor Dida. You're the best.
And then we had the CHOA and city partnered together on the Wildfire and Home Hardening Expo at Hess Park on September 27th, which happened to be my birthday.
Happy birthday to you too.
Which, also goes to helping the community understand the art of the possible, for helping them help themselves and making their homes as resilient as possible during a fire. So that will be continued on this Sunday when we have the Emergency Preparedness Expo at Peninsula High School.
All right. Upcoming events too we want to plug for the city. On Halloween Day are over at Eastview Park. They do the Halloween puppy parade. So
yes, we will be doing the Halloween puppy parade where the puppies will be dressed up. We will also have something that I didn't even know existed.
Oh, let's hear it.
We will have a doggy food truck. So you can dress up your pup and then also reward your pup for the ridicule of being dressed up with a treat from the doggy food truck.
I love it.
So come on down for that.
Yeah, Eastview Park is a wonderful park on the east side of the hill and of RPV, and the dog park, the city's done so much work to improve it. It's fabulous, and I've been to that puppy party, and it's something to bark about.
Oh,
It's a good
I'm
one.
rubbing off on you.
Okay, you are. Also, the very important second annual Veterans Breakfast
Yes,
coming up.
we'll be having that on Veterans Day. We will be celebrating our veterans throughout the city, those that are serving, those that have served, and what you mean to the community, to California, and to the nation. So that will be at Kendida Civic Center on Veterans Day.
And veterans, of course, it's free for veterans, but
Yes.
people can pay to be at the breakfast.
Yes, absolutely.
And we want to invite the community to come to that. And I think it's appropriate as we wrap up this show, as we sit here overlooking PV Drive South here at Hatano Farm, it takes me down memory lane, literally, when Mayor Bradley runs PV Drive South at the annual Run for Miles. That's coming up. November 15th, it'll be your third go at it.
It will be. I will have run every Run for Miles.
Yes. And you've been amazing. November 15th, 5K, 10K. Of course, our city manager will be there. Very competitive, though. He leaves everybody in the dust. Let's be real about that. Mayor, right?
Oh, absolutely. But it's between our city manager and our mayor pro tem. I think they'll be battling it out for who is going to complete the 10K the fastest. I will not be battling them, but I will be there. I do remember running the Palos Verdes Marathon back in the day. Miles Helms, who the Run for Miles is named after, was an ardent supporter of the Palos Verdes Marathon.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first organized marathon and one of the longest running marathons in the country.
The PV Marathon.
The PV Marathon. So.
Well, we're happy our own city has taken this on it. And they did it during the celebration of our 50th anniversary of our city, was the first Run for Miles. And again, like you mentioned, it is a fundraiser in honor of Miles Helm. And the money goes back to our city, the proceeds, to help improve our parks,
Yes.
our trails, for all of the community to enjoy. So get out. It's a family event as well. You don't have to run. You can walk.
Run to PVIC.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And it's all at the Interpretive Center, exactly. And then you can go enjoy the Interpretive Center and the coastline, and that'll be exciting coming up. And that's about it. Anything else you want to add as we wrap up our monthly Mayor's Program?
The only other thing is right after Halloween, we go into Thanksgiving, and then we're on the holiday season. So look out for all the things that we will be doing for the city in the holiday season. We'll be having a tree lighting ceremony. We'll be having a Hanukkah celebration. There'll be a synthetic snow for the kids, small and large.
No, yeah, biggest kid going down the
toboggan
slope.
on, but there'll be a whole series of holiday events in the month of December. So those are coming up. Please come out to City Hall. Most of them are around City Hall, the Kendida Civic Center.
There's a wonderful schedule of winter festival festivities, so we'll be at all of them.
Absolutely.
And I know you'll be there in your snowsuit.
I will absolutely be there in the snowsuit. I am one of the first people to go down that slide. Former Mayor John Cruikshank, I'm sure, will be there and be egging me on and trying to beat me down the slide. But I think I have a little bit on him this year.
No snowball fights. Can we?
No
we
snowball
got to keep you under
No.
control. With that, thank you again for taking our show on the road. Mayor Bradley's the best. When we started doing these monthly shows, you wanted to get out into the community, and here we are. And this is a treasure here at Hatano Farm. So go on our city's website, get all for the information on all of what our city's up to at rpvca.gov. I'm Liz Brown Swanson with Mayor Bradley. Thanks for tuning in.